Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Spectrum Talk. My name is Ruby Jones, and I'm excited to welcome you to this special live presentation brought to you by Denver Urban Spectrum. This program will feature the 2024 Democratic National Convention with a live report from Denver Urban Spectrum correspondent Tracy Winchester. Welcome back to Spectrum Talk. My name is Ruby Jones.
Thanks,
Tracy.
Ruby.
Yeah, hi, Tracy. Now, Tracy has extensive experience in legislative policy and press relations. She's the president and CEO of Colors TV, which was founded in 1999, and she's worked as an executive chief of staff and chief of operations for the city of Denver. She's in Chicago to not only cover the Democratic National Convention, but to celebrate the historic event where Vice President Kamala Harris will receive an official nomination by the Democratic Party to run as the party representative in the upcoming 2024 election. As the first woman and the first woman of color to receive this nomination, this is a very special opportunity. Thank you so much, Tracy, for joining me today. And I know you had some guest interviews planned for yesterday's broadcast, but there were some delays that prevented us from going live on day one. Tell us a little bit about your experiences on the way to the United Center yesterday.
Well, thank you, Ruby. It's so great to be here talking to you from Chicago live. Tonight is on Tuesday night, the second night of the convention. And I tell you, the first night and first day was very well planned out, but just as they say, the best plans of mice and men just definitely do not always pan out. Particularly in this case, we had the protesters, and the protesters breached the security area. And so then Secret Service stepped in and just stopped all operations. No one could move forward. The buses were stopped. Everything was stopped because we had President Biden here. We also have Vice President Harris here. And so security is extremely tight right now. We have helicopters going over continuously over the center. And of course, I can't even count the number of Secret Service, law enforcement, Chicago's police, sheriff, everyone is making sure that we stay safe and sound. And fortunately, that's the way things have been going so far. So we are very lucky to be here and moving forward. This has been a wonderful, wonderful convention. It feels like we've been here for at least a couple of days, and it's only been one night. And we had President Joe Biden as our last speaker of the evening, and it was the most dramatic of all. The place was filled with love. The place was filled with pride, and it was just incredible. The surprise was also seeing Vice President Harris come out on stage probably about an hour before President Biden spoke. So it was really phenomenal. I'm sorry, did you get that last part? It looks like I got muted a little bit there towards the end.
I did, yeah. You said it was phenomenal, and I had the pleasure of watching last night back home here in Denver, and it really just looked like the energy in the space was electric. Everybody was on their feet just cheering for, President Joe Biden, and it was really nice seeing his family speak and introduce him, his wife and his daughter, and it was a nice treat to see Vice President Harris get up there and get the crowd, really enthusiastic. It seems just like there's an exciting energy all around you. Do you experience that throughout the day in the Windy City as well? Are there a ton of people, and is everybody still raring to go from last night?
Well, we definitely have a full day schedule. just so you know, we start at 7:30 every morning. Every state delegation starts at 7:30 in the morning because we have to get our credentials. This is the pass that gets you into the convention center. If you don't have this delegate pass, you are not getting in. So that's the first thing you do at 7:30. Go down, go to your delegation, and then you basically what we also have are speeches in the morning time. We really start off with inspirational speeches from cabinet members. We had Secretary Deb Haaland from New Mexico, the first Native American that has been a part of the Biden administration, and she gave a rousing speech yesterday morning. And then today we had Congressman Jason. Okay, wait a minute. Jason Crow drew a blank there for a second. He came in and also was one of our speakers this morning prior to us even going over to McCormick Place. And McCormick Place, as many of you know, is where a lot of conventions are held throughout the country. And they come to McCormick Place, which is huge. It's a huge facility, but that is only where we are during the day. During the day, we have plenty of caucuses and committee meetings that we go to. We have the Women's Caucus, Small Business, Rural Caucus, Senior Citizens Caucus. Everyone is caucusing and talking about their issues and making sure that is part of the Democratic platform agenda. And so then from there, that goes from 9 until about 4 o'clock every day. And then we come over here to the United Center. As you can see back here, I'm in the media room, and this is where everyone does the interviews with their local officials and people who are attending the convention. And so we come here, get a little space to be able to talk to you, Ruby, and talk to their audience back home.
That sounds extremely exhausting. It sounds like it's so much to do while you're there, but it seems like that would be a really full day, especially when you're having unexpected delays and things like that. Now, what are some of the issues that some of the delegates from Colorado have brought to the table and are really impassioned about hearing be presented at the Democratic National Committee or at the convention, or what are some of those agenda items that are specific maybe to Colorado?
I think I got muted again there. The computer automatically mutes, I think, when there's too much noise in the room. Uh, Specific to Colorado is probably not as evident because we really are trying to make sure that we cover all states, all citizens. And so we are looking at it from a national perspective. And but we make sure, for instance, the rural caucus, where half of our state, particularly on the western slope, is very much an agricultural community. And so we want to make sure that because the urban cities generally are able to kind of push forward their agenda, we sometimes leave out the rural caucus. And so those are some of the issues that's very pertinent to the state of Colorado that we want to make sure that our issues are addressed with regards to agricultural technology and water rights issues. I mean, that's extremely important for the state of Colorado.
I see that is extremely important. And I love that you're thinking not only just of the state, but of the whole nation and the whole
Uh-huh.
body of American citizens. It's important. Now, what are some of the things that you have lined up for tonight's schedule?
Well, the keynote speaker that's going to overwhelm everyone is going to be President Barack Obama. As everyone knows by this time, probably that Vice President Harris and President Obama definitely have a relationship. They've been friends for a long time, and so it's a very um, proud moment for the president to come on stage and to be able to advocate for voting, get out to vote for Harris and Walz. I think prior to, well, I know prior to President Obama coming out, the First Lady, Michelle Obama, will also be having a keynote address in front of the audience. And of course, just to give you some idea, this center, the United Center, is something like the same size as the Pepsi Center in the Ball Arena. I'm sorry. As you can tell, I've been around for a while. The Ball Arena in Denver, that's the size of the United Center, and in fact, it's probably about 25% larger than even the Pepsi Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado.
Wow, so lots of people, lots of things to do. That's really awesome. And during the day, so you're back and forth between McCormick Place and United Center. Is that all day long, or do you just have to pick a spot and hunker down there? And also, are you seeing a lot of people from Colorado while you're out there?
Sorry, there we go. Believe it or not, we do see each other throughout the day because we're going to those different caucuses, and that we are mingling at McCormick Place, and then we get on the shuttle bus, go back to our hotel for maybe 5 minutes, and then we're back in the bus to go to United Center, and we go and we stay there probably somewhere between 4 o'clock to about, well, last night we didn't get home until about 12:30. That was about the time that by the time we got on the buses and were able to get out of the parking lot, it was 12:30 when most of us got back to our hotel. So then we were back up again at 7:30. But tonight there is a special party that's going to be held after the convention if it doesn't run too late, that will feature John Legend. So that'll be fun. That's strictly for the delegates. And just so that you know, there's about 4,700 delegates from all 50 states.
Those are impressive numbers. I saw the almost 5,000 delegates number, and I also saw that there's about 50,000 people planning to be in Chicago these 4 days. So that sounds like jam-packed action the whole time. I am curious though, are there still protests? I know after kind of the hiccups yesterday and everything that happened on our end as far as the tech interruptions and your bus delays, I did see a lot of news headlines about the protests. There were even some arrests. Is that ongoing? And is that still at the United Center?
Yes, it is ongoing. What happens is that they are able to get into the locations where the delegates are sitting. And generally, they come in as maybe guests, or they're able to purchase tickets and what have you to be in the guest area of the convention center. And they are able to voice their objection to what is going on in the Middle East, over in Gaza, the Gaza Strip. And so, what I do find very much the soul of the Democratic Party is that, particularly with Vice President Harris, is that she does take the time to talk to those protesters. So it's not as if they're not being heard. They are definitely being heard by her staff, and by other people in the party and other elected officials. So I think it's really about making sure the protesters just want to make sure that the issue isn't forgotten, that the people of Gaza are not forgotten, and the fact that I think if we go ahead and get this election won on November 5th with our Harrison Walls ticket, I think we're going to see some changes in the Middle East that will be for the good.
Well, that's good. And I appreciate you pointing that out and clarifying that, she does take the time to address their concerns and that it's not just like an oversight and they're just shut it off somewhere and not heard. That's great. Well, Tracy, thank you so much for the update. I know that some of the people that are supposed to be joining us tonight are being delayed once again.
Once
But
again.
yeah,
And
that's
well,
okay.
and actually the chair of the Colorado Democratic Party could not be here because he had to be on the floor at 6:30 for roll call. And so I didn't want him to miss it on our account. And so he'll be here tomorrow. So we'll make sure to get an interview with him and to give his perspective on what's going on here in Chicago. And by the way, Chicago is doing a great job. They are doing very well in terms of making sure that all of our needs are met. And it's hard to put on a convention this size, but they're doing a great job and they're really making a lot of effort to make sure that we are safe, we are secure, and that we have a great time celebrating this historic occasion. This is going to be one that our children will be reading about in the history books over the next couple of centuries, hopefully.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you so much again, Tracy, and we will check back in with you tomorrow evening. Everyone, thank you all for tuning in to this special presentation of Spectrum Talk. Be sure to subscribe to the Denver Urban Spectrum YouTube channel and meet us back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Central for another look at the 2024 Democratic National Convention. We'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.